Intro, whatever, will be edited in here in music or some kind of sound or an applause or whatever I will decide to when I edit to kind of give the entrance. But it's good to be back in here. This is definitely me. You can see nickname D Boy, and I got D Boy WCU West Coast Uncensored, Daniel Abril, and somebody asked me. I had been asked a couple questions. Hit up on God. I see with the expansion and the clips going out, we have a lot of two people putting their 2 cents in of some of the clips, and some not so connective, which is not surprising when you put yourself out. You're dealing with people that are asleep, not awake, and indoctrinated, and they hear something and they can't scroll by, which is something I will be doing a video, not specifically that, but triggers. And what I mean by triggers is frequency and vibration being held in reaction that can take you and lower your frequency and vibration, whether it's getting angry or being attacked or feel like you're being attacked or whatever your quirk or weaknesses are, what sets you off or what it is. I had one of our listeners who I talked to mentioned something that we had a similarity to. He heard me talking about it a little bit. He said, "Oh man, when I'm out driving," because he drives for a living, I get really just kind of chaps me because of how people drive and the reality in this life. And I totally understand it, but also know that our quality of what we do is our responsibility. So these next two videos are really going to be in line with that, to set up that. And don't forget, we're still going to do the mirrored reality, but I have a few episodes before we get to it, which that will be a series aligning. We're going into alignment and whatever the alignment may be or not be, right? A little bit different background, a little darker, a little purple, a little bit different background, but and so something I got here. I got a seashell here. I don't know if you can see it. Seashell. And the reason I have a seashell is because, let me turn this off because I see I have my notifications up. Let's turn them off. Seashell, because this is what I do with the seashell. It's what I put out when I light my sage. And we light our sage to get a little bit of sage going, right? A little sage going here. You might even see the smoke coming out. I actually had responses to last time I did this, some very positive responses from people saying, "Hey, talk about that some more." Or go, and I said, and I thought about it. I said, you're really right. Because this has been known by spiritual communities. Native Americans been doing it for millenniums, thousands of years. Of course, you get into Western science, and they say, "Oh, it's all Tommy Rhett," and not true. But now the scientists jump on board, but they knew thousands of years ago. But now the Johnny come latelys, the Western scientists, chime in. And we're going to go into the chiming in. So what I'm going to have is the benefits. Today's video is about the benefits of sage and smudging. Smudging is what you do. There's a process in how to do your how to light your incense. There's a process to this of how you light it and how you perform the process of smudging. I usually don't use the word smudging, but that's the word that particularly in English it means. I just said saging, but smudging would be, I guess, in some quote unquotes, the right way to say it. So we're going to do, and actually this video and the next ones, we're going to get into the benefits of saging, smudging today. In our next videos, we're going to go into the now scientific agreement on the benefits of meditation for just not what the ancients said for spiritual awakening, to learn to go within, which we, how about that word of the day, right? How'd you like that? Invisible. The word visible doesn't mean not seeing. Visible means it's visible. You can visible see it, but it's only visible to the invisible. And this is put in a certain way, but I decoded it showing you it's talking about it's visible when you go within, because it's not like the word is not visible, unseen. Doesn't say that. It says it's in, in. So you got to enter into something within you. And when you go within, the kingdom of God is what? Within you. Then things become more visible. Right? So let me, without further ado, go ahead and get in, because I got a little bit to read today with this. I really do. I got a little bit to read. Let's see if our layout's working. I like to keep my background. Okay. Like that. Let's see if we can get that like this. And, okay. And we're going to share. And this is interesting. I don't know if any of you know, but some of you new people, and I was asked to by sharing it if I would, and I said most certainly I will go into this. So, burning sage. We're going to start out right away. Let's even it's got AI mode here on Google now. It's got all the images. Let's see what the AI mode says. Based on the provided results, here's some claims. Releases compounds from antimicrobial properties that can help reduce airborne bacteria, viruses, and fungi. The evidence they're saying they have now in science is studying in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology in 2007 found 94% of reduction of airborne bacteria after burning medicinal herbs in a closed space for an hour. Some sources suggest this effect can last to 24 hours, and some say even as long as 30 days. Bacteria. White sage and white prairie sage are the specific mentioned as having these antimicrobial properties. Mecana is when burned, sage releases vital oils, turpentines like 1,8-cinnamyl, eucalyptal, and some bigger words there, which may interact with bacterial structures, neutralizing them. So here we go. Something that was not long ago, 20 years ago, would be called hocus pocus. But now, science, who now signs off on it too, I'm not going to totally bash them, but they're the last of the party, because folks knew this thousands of years ago, which seems to be, as we're finding out, always, is the one that's supposed to be the dictator is always the ones know last. Not surprised. I'm not surprised. But anyways, let's use this, because if you need this kind of proof, look at this. 2000, the studies. 2016, a neuropsychological study suggests evidence for cognitive enhancing benefits is promising. 205 inhibits an enzyme called choline terase, and I can't terase, improving mood, cognition after one dose. However, it's important to note these studies focus on internal use or dried sage, not specific burning of sage. Okay, here we got to go. Okay, that's AI. Improve air quality and reduce airborne bacteria, potential neutralizing positive ions. The antimicrobial properties discussed above contributed to air purification. So this would be air purification, which tells me it'd be good for respiratory things. And that's what it's saying when you read is it releases a negative ions, which may counteract the positive pollutant from the pollutants, allergens. And if somebody said, well, see, it's negative, it's positive, there's also another aspect where the negatives are good. Like when you're dealing with, and I'll use this other thing, when you're dealing with water that is very high in ions, right? Where you measure it through electrolysis of water that is very alkaline, will have negative ions, but the positive ions are 0 and up, which means it's more disease is more in the positive, and the negative ions are more the healing virtue, and that would be the same here as what it's telling you. It gets rid of all the benefit. It gives you the benefits of for air. It cleans out your air and sage. And I knew about the ions, and then now we're seeing that now they're even coming out and saying that it's really good for and it has psychological benefits. The energy does, or the burning of the sage, which I kind of knew this a while ago. And like I said, I got an electrolysis Kangen machine, which creates negative ions. And when you have the negative ions, the water is better. If you have positive, it's more anti-aging. When you get 0 and 1, it's anti-aging. If it's negative, like orange, I think an orange is like negative 40. And so you start seeing this negative 40 means it's anti-aging. So that would be the same in this. Just like your car battery needs a negative and positive to energetic. You can't, if your car needs a charging, you can't just charge the positive. You have to charge both of them. Important considerations: respectful practice. Smudging is sacred in Native Americans. And let's go to the all. We just heard the 94%. Here's some more detailed look at the aspects. Antiseptic, capable of neutralizing, eliminating harmful bacteria in the air. Studies demonstrate significant reduction in the number of airborne bacteria, so it's a cleansing for your air quality and practical benefit. Because I've heard people say, oh, it stinks, I don't want it, and they're not willing to sacrifice some smell for a little bit that you can get used to, and then having cleansing, which would be benefit for their health. That to me is a mindset that I see a lot of people have. That to me, I just know I changed, and you can change. Everything's not sweetie pie and pumpkin pie. Some things that are needed are tough and not always, like even eating in nature. Some things in nature, or even medicines in nature, will have a leafy, earthy taste, not be candy apple red. And sweetie pie, good tasting, which ends up being not the good, right? So here, so right here it's interesting that now in science in the last 20 years and later, they're finding that everything that was said by ancient people, hence the Native Americans, and they're not the only ones that used it, who have been using this for millenniums, multi-millenniums. and people have used this for multi-millenniums, knew this without modern science, but now science is on board, and that's for them who need to have that written off, or maybe something you need to share with somebody to prove to them who kind of are in the space still that you can that are getting open but still want those kind of proofs. Bacterial reduction, we did long lasting effects. It can go beyond immediate smudging. Studies in the rooms can immediately be bacteria free. I know from the parts of me and doing the smudging of what I know. Open your windows because you want to let out the negative ions and the negative. Could even see the negative bacteria. Let them free. Get out. Go. Negative ion release. Burning sage releases negative ions, which are thought to neutralize the positive charge of bacteria and other airborne particles, leading to their removal or precipitation. Love it. Potential mental health benefits, even in the mental health benefits, is antibacterial properties. Burning sage is also associated with potential and mood enhancing. That goes with what I'm going to when I was mentioning when I started about your reactions and your moods. Um, Reducing stress, anxiety, improving cognitive function. So really, this has multiple helps. Some compounds of white sage has been known to interact with receptors in the brain that influence mood. And let's look at that, cognitive processes. So this goes deeper than we thought. Uh, I knew pretty much about the ion energy. I was turned on to that a while ago and knew that, but now we're seeing the deeper dive is even more than that. And I really appreciate that. Um, that scientific is promising. Some of the claims about smudging, such a removal of negative, are not scientifically proven. Further research. So you tell me one thing, and then you come with something else, just like they would do. They tend to do anyways. Kind of try to throw more things under the bus. We already looked at that. Um, so we have studies about this. It's actually a medicine, some pharmacology. Um, I've been doing it for a while. I've known about it for a while. I've known about it and have been doing it. Smudge work, scientific proof. Here's some images you can use. Um, Even how to smudge is even something um, we can do in the future. If anybody wants to know how, I'll make a video on how to smudge. It's pretty easy. It's thorough. Uh, and you can be thorough about it in each room. You can go through each room, open windows. Like I said, you need to let this negative energy and negative bacteria out. It chases it out. And as it chases it out, you have this you definitely have this white prairie sage, as you've seen what it was called. Let me see any videos. You can look at some of these videos. That video exposing sage or what happens. Shopping where you can get it. There's different places you can get it. Let's see if there's anything more I want to add in AI because we kind of looked at it already. Other potential spirit. Oh, which we didn't read. We've seen that it was antimicrobial properties can be purified. Other benefits, as shown in to repel insects, spiritual tools. Burning is traditionally used to connect to spiritual realm and dispel negative energies, which can have psychological effects. It has a calming and relaxing act. An aroma can promote relaxation and sense of calmness. Respectful practice. Smudging, burning is sacred to Native American and cultures. It's essential to approach with respect and cultural awareness. When you maybe when you talk about this, instead of putting it down, as you see, science is now on board, so the natives knew what they were talking about. So they weren't so restless when you start looking at this. Ha ha ha. Had to just throw that in. And of course boot it out. But let's go here. All right. So back again here. Yeah, I find that very interesting. Like I said, I take it smudging. You go smudge through your house. For me, it's just going through the corners, self, around, cover yourself and your seven chakra, your body. It is a protection. It is a protection. It's your body. Um, you do that around your house with the same thing, top corners around. It's like this. If you notice when you turn on a light or turn off a light, where does the dark run to? It runs to the corners. Go to the corners is even so. If you know that dark goes to the corners, which it does when you turn on lights, kind of like when you turn on the lights and you have an infestation of mice, turn the lights off, the mice come out to play, right? So the same thing, it runs to the corners, the darkness, and so these dark energies will go to the corners, and you go to the corners, you sage the corners of every room, through the corners, sage yourself. I go around my head, around my shoulders, around my whole body. I sage, and this is a practice you can do daily for cleansing. It is a type of cleansing that you can do to you go to your meditation, your ritual, just cleansing. The aroma just creates a sensitivity. And as you see, it's good for the breath, and with all the things going on with breathing and air and, and all the stuff coming out that we see. I don't know how many of you are on Instagram, but a lot of stuff's coming out. A lot of stuff that went through 4 years, and those who didn't do certain things and didn't take certain jooby joobs, you were correct. And I know many of us tried to warn our family, our friends, and our counterparts who just seemed to do whatever was said. Yeah, and then but it's all coming out. It's even coming out to the point of some of the videos that a certain person who was the head of all this put out. I'm sure you may have heard this. And when he put it out, the things he was saying, how to make them take this. So this is all coming out. We live in the matrix, so I don't know how much of this is true, even though they could put it out as true. But I guess Putin said, if you, with part of the agreement to end the war, please extradite Fauci to Russia for his crimes against humanity. Yeah, that has been said by them. Everything about it is out in the open, in full disclosure about what's happened. They're saying it's more deaths through this than there was in World War I and World War II combined. Yeah, that's out. Everything's in full disclosure, everything, everywhere, and everything. There's just a couple of conspiracies that you see is not. And those probably won't, because those are very hiding. And one of them definitely connected to NASA. But anyways, yeah. So I just really wanted to share. I was asked about it because I did do a video where I lit it, and had some great response to it. And the people that gave me great response kind of said it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a video on it again and show the benefits from it, besides them no spiritual, because I am going to say this that they won't say scientifically. Maybe one day they'll say it quantumly, which would be the same thing. I believe the sage, when it's burnt, is able to go into other realms and cleanse too, the unseen realms to the naked eye. As we see, once you go in, you have visibility. Like the word of the day said, you have this visibility once you learn to go in. Invisible. Visible doesn't mean unseen. The word visible means you see. It's seen. It's able to be seen. It's invisible. But if you're out, it's invisible. You don't see it. But that's where it's at. And I had to put that and kind of bring that, because I thought that was kind of when it hit me, it definitely was revelatory, and I was going, wow, I've never seen this like this, but this makes sense. And so I did this, and this would be the same thing with lighting this. And I will be doing something similar in the next video. We're going to hit on the next video. Guess what we're going to hit on? We're going to talk about the benefits of meditation, for that now scientifically they're like, oh, this is really great for multiple aspects. A lot of what we've seen that the sage is good for is also, they're confessing that also meditation is good for. and we're gonna go in on it, because now the things that spiritual people were doing, that they tried to laugh at you and joke on you and make their little snide remarks and judgments, is now backfire, because they're the Johnny come latelys finding out about it last. Which I think is hilarious. But we'll take it, but if you're witnessing or you're talking to somebody and you mention this, they may come with that. You can, and they're in a certain place. Maybe they're ready to wake up and they start making moves, but they still require maybe something like this, what I put out today, the medical aspect of it, scientific aspect of it, is hitting home now, saying what we've been saying, that you definitely have the aspect of the power to maybe talk to them and share this with them now. The proof that it's just not talked about or New Age, because it was never New Age, because Native Americans and other cultures are not the only ones that did it. Other very indigenous cultures have been doing this for millenniums, multi-millenniums. Uh, but now you're able to share that. If this is a tool needed to help somebody with something that's doing it, many of us, we know the children and family members have breathing problems, right? A lot of respiratory things. And that's being mentioned, where that's coming from too, as we see this Western medicine, if I can say so myself, are said that this would be good to share. So we're going to go into the meditation aspect on my next video, how meditation builds you up, and why I'm going to do this. This will allow me to go into something else before I get into the mirrored reality of ourselves, of the holographic mirrored reality. We will be getting there. It's just a matter of when. But I have a couple other things I'm going to do first. And I appreciate you guys. If you guys could give, I would really appreciate that. We can upgrade our stuff and stuff like that. So you guys have a very, very great day. Please give. And it will be on my screen when this is edited. It will definitely be on there to help with this work. This takes time. So you guys have a great day. Love and appreciate all you guys that coming. Our growth's been good. Please comment if it's been good to you and you're open to it. Comment. I will remove posts trying to get arguments started, trying to be Johnny come latelys when I see the post is nothing but lack of revelation or really religious. This is not what this is. This is for them who are waking up. We're not going to just engage somebody who's not ready, with no ears to hear. There's no reason to even have that discussion if you don't got these to hear and you don't got that to see. It's just a waste of time until somebody has the mindset to want to receive something more. Then we go. But if you are there, but please comment if it's been good to you. I had a couple other people that were good comment. So you guys have a great day.